All right. We're back with another little UAS podcast. Don's not with me today. I'm actually doing some traveling up here in Grand Forks, North Dakota, visiting Metal Arc Aircraft Company and Vantis and some other organizations, discussing our futures. As it pertains to Zephyr Systems, as well as mostly Metal Arc Aircraft Company, which hopefully most of you are aware about. If not, I'll leave the link in the description below. But essentially, Metal Arc Aircraft Company, um, is going to be providing extreme, not extreme. Manufacturing capabilities in the unmanned aircraft sector, not only for their own designs, but also to serve as a bespoke, manufacturing service for other designers. So for those of you that have designs, want to bring it to fruition, there's a lot more than just ordering a bunch of parts off of from a Chinese website and putting together a drone. That'll get you so far. But reach out to the folks at Metal Arc Aircraft Company. Obviously, they have the specialized experience and knowledge, plus the access to the test center and range. One of the test ranges for UAS up here in Grand Forks, North Dakota. So without further ado, I don't want to go too far into all that stuff. Big announcement for Zephyr Systems. Zephyr System is now, we're actually undergoing our quality check and test ride and check rides with the Alaska Center for Unmanned Aircraft Systems Integration out of the University of Alaska. So Michigan is now and will soon be the proud manager of a COA ourselves, one of the largest in the lower 48. So it encompasses 3 separate airports in Class G airspace, and then we're adding additional 2 additional Class D airspaces within the next about 6 months. 150 miles nautical range, BVLOS, chase aircraft, the whole shebang. So real extensive COA, 7,000 feet AGL, nighttime operations, all kinds of stuff is incorporated into this COA. And so obviously we're using it to test our own aircraft in partnership with another organization for them to test their own aircraft. But also, we open up the test space. You can bring your aircraft. We'll go through the daunting process of getting it fledged out. All the technology, all the administrative tasks, standard operating procedures, training, SMS, safety, risk management, all that type of stuff will get you trained up so you can use the COA. And now other operators have the use of test space up in Michigan, which is wonderful. We get the four seasons and unique test environment for that. So again, reach out. I'll leave another link in the description below for you guys to. For those of you that are interested, reach out. So without any more promotions on my part, let's get into some interesting news. So one of the things we have going on right now is this how more and more law enforcement agencies are kind of coming on board. Now, obviously, law enforcement's been using drones for a period of time, but I think this is just kind of a real way to show the value and the fact that people are partnering. State and local governments tended to be the agencies that didn't want UASs. There was about a lot of hesitation, and now they find out that this is a great technology for them to employ. And so with the researcher, law enforcement come together, the RTC, Florida's first partner to train local, state, and federal government agencies. So you can see the RTC is a unique nonprofit center. It's also America's leading UAS innovator and California's largest certified UAS trainer. And so they're going to be expanding down to Florida. They're putting up some makeshift buildings, different things, so they can kind of test out different technologies, but mostly to train law enforcement, which is super important. As you train law enforcement in the use of these tactics, it can kind of change the game for them. We feel at Zephyr, at least, and Metal Arc and some other companies that we're associated with, we definitely feel that the law enforcement agencies are are really adopting this technology to their great benefit. We've seen the military do it and continue to do it, and law enforcement oftentimes takes lessons learned from the military and applies it. Anyways, good news for the drone world. Good news for those of you that are Part 107 qualified and all that type of stuff that are looking for job opportunities. This may be a way to get into it. We definitely just applaud it. I think it's a great system. So. So let's look at kind of the next thing that I want to talk about today is the altitude wide area BVLOS integrated C2 and detect and avoid. So a lot of people have been really working in this field, really trying to navigate, how do we get the BVLOS? It's the only way to really move forward. Now, obviously, there's a lot of technological companies involved in this, something that, not everyone should be kind of taking on. Everyone's trying to navigate it, but it's a cumbersome space. There's a lot of financiers, if you will, working on it. So Iris Automation is one, and UAVionics is another. And so Iris uses basically, I'll kind of scroll down. Iris UAVionics have announced a strategic partnership that will integrate the CASIA G ground-based collision avoidance data into UAVionics Skyline services, resulting in a combined command and control and detect and avoid services. So this is an example of two companies that have come together to provide a service that's needed. Hey, we work in the command and control space, ADSB in and out, things like that. With cooperative aircraft, Iris works in the non-cooperative space. These are aircraft that aren't transmitting. Maybe it's birds, maybe it's other things like that. Let's combine our two technologies. We already have an extreme long-range C2 link. If we can take your technology, combine it with ours, we got something good. We've seen other companies do this. I don't want to promote any one company over another unless it's my own. But basically, we've seen Sage Tech. Is a similar player in the C2 ADSB cooperative aircraft link, and then we've also seen Echodyne, which does a lot of like SWAP-C level radars and different things like that. So we've seen them in the world doing the same thing. A lot of partnerships. UAVionics has partnered with both companies. Sage Tech has partnered with both companies. It's kind of a race to the top, if you sort of speak. But ultimately, in the end, this is a win for everybody. And I'm excited to see how it kind of fledges out. Right now everyone's operating on these waivers, and now recently we've gotten exemptions, which is obviously very different from a waiver. So we've seen UAVionics get an exemption down at Skyline 64 or Skyline 32, whatever it's called. Basically down there in the Choctaw Nation in Oklahoma, they've now gotten an exemption, which is vastly different from a waiver. Waiver just says, hey, you can do this one time for you only, blah, blah, blah. Exemption from an FAA's perspective is vastly different. They're saying that you're exempt from this particular portion of the regulatory law and guidance because you've proven that you can, meet the intents of what that rule and guidance was intended to meet. So you're meeting the intent through an exemption. Vastly different. So now other people can use that exemption status potentially as they move forward in navigating their BVLOS type of systems. So awesome stuff. We're seeing things kind of change. We now have a new director of the FAA or administrator who's finally stepped into that role. I think that the future is bright for unmanned aircraft and UAS and UAV technologies. It's really just a matter of who's going to get there and who can hold out the longest. If Don was here, we'd probably bring up the Amazon Prime and things like that. What we saw with Amazon Prime was, you can't just throw all your money at it and expect it to be perfect. Just because you have a buttload of money, i.e. Amazon, doesn't mean you're going to be able to weather the storm. There's regulations take time to adopt. Public opinion takes time to adopt, things like that. So companies like Zephyr Systems, which I'm involved with, Metal Lark Aircraft Company, which I'm involved with, other companies, other industry leading providers like Vantis Network, Alaska Test Range, and different things like that, who are really trying to work hard at, number one, weathering the storm, holding out as long as possible and being there when finally things take shape, and not spending all your money at once. And then also just, pushing the envelope, so to speak, in a safe and effective manner. And so we only have one more final article to talk about, but I think everyone's kind of talking about it a little bit, which is the fact that remote ID, guess what? Ding dong, ding dong. It's been extended. We all kind of saw this coming to some extent and another. So they now have extended another 6 months. Now I can tell you from firsthand experience, we have had record number of orders for our particular remote ID modules through Zephyr Systems. We Zephyr Systems, we manufacture, we've designed and manufactured standalone systems or standalone boxes that can be Velcroed or hard mounted to your existing unmanned aircraft. We also have, ones that are more integrated for like a manufacturer, which is what we are primarily focused on for Metal Arc. But basically, we have the standalone systems. They're battery operated. Charge them up. Lasts about 3 hours. You charge them with a USB cable. Charge them lasts about 3 hours, no problem. And we can do some really cool stuff with it. I could just tell you, we've seen record number of sales, or at least orders. We're back ordered all the way through October. So we had people reach out, hey, I need 15 of these tomorrow. Well, take a ticket, stand in line. I've got outstanding orders for hundreds of these right now. And so, leave it to the general public, wait till the last minute. And as a result, the FAA, in their infinite wisdom, has decided, let's go ahead and extend it. But come March 16th of 2024, at that point, you could be facing fine, suspension, or revocation of your pilot certificate if you're found in violation of this rule. So these are some of the things that are just coming. We know the remote ID is coming. I would urge you to make plans now. Like I said, we're one of several manufacturers. There's multiple solutions out there. I can just tell you, us specifically, we're booked. They're booked out. Our orders go beyond and through October, so we're about 45 days back ordered. And we're having a hard time keeping up. Quite honestly. I would anticipate that may only increase. Maybe the 6 month deadline will give us time to replenish our stock, but I wouldn't wait till last minute, guys. If you need remote ID, start complying now. If not, you're going to run into some problems. The other things that you can do, if you're a recreational flyer, get with one of the recreational flying clubs, the CBOs, which is a community-based organization. Zephyr Systems, we're part of one. We're part of a consortium. And we have FRIA zones. I'm not sure the acronym, but basically, essentially allows for us to fly without remote ID in particular areas. So we fly under Part 107. We fly under all the Part 107 rules, but we've sectioned off a section and that the FAA has granted us for operations without remote ID. And so we have those. And so I would urge you, if you're just a recreational flyer or an RC type pilot, not looking to commercialize your stuff, and you just enjoy the industry, I would encourage you to reach out to them. In the meantime, go ahead and get your remote ID modules. You're going to need them. Those are some of the news we got going on today. Sorry, this is kind of an impromptu thing. We're up here in Grand Forks. For those of you that attended the Commercial UAV Expo, from what I understand, it was another great event this year. Myself, I was not able to attend. We had people from our team attend, which is how we got the feedback we did. The next event that we know about in the unmanned aircraft space is the Summit UAS 2023. Actually, it's up here in Grand Forks, North Dakota. Myself and Mr. Ned Tibet will be making a presentation on the best practices and trends in manufacturing, and some of the things that we see, the opportunities that we see. We talked about in previous podcasts the replicator program and some other things. We have a lot of other programs coming on board. It's really making a push for UAS manufacturing to be done here and to be done at scale. And that's, essentially Metal-Arc's expertise. So I would encourage you to attend that event. It's a great event. What's nice about this is with your contribution or with your ticket price, includes lunch. Lunches are provided for both days. So if you can get 1 day pass for Tuesday, you can get a 1 day pass for Wednesday, or you can get a full conference pass. Full conference pass includes the lunch. They put on a very nice spread usually. There's a lot of great speakers. A lot of DoD personnel do presentations. And then you have a lot of the big players, big players from the county and local legislature and stuff like that, but also the big players in the industry as well. So anyways, without further ado, guys, I'm going to let you go. Like, subscribe, share, do all that fun stuff, and we'll catch you on the flip side.